Welcome back to the Almost Everything podcast. You're with Lewis and Tim here.
G'day, how's everyone doing?
We're on the vids again. We've got the YouTube video, but we're also doing this for the audio listeners. Lewis, how's the week been?
It's been a good week, Tim. Big things with the pod. But before I do get into that, I just want to say, for everyone who's watching this, listen to this, follow us, subscribe to us, share the pod around. I got to get it in early because the average listen time isn't the whole episode, and we do all that sort of stuff at the end. So I want to get that out early. Subscribe, follow, share the pod. The socials will be up on the screen now. So
great call. Because we want this to go. I'd say. Well, it is global.
Yeah,
but I don't want it to go viral like herpes or coronavirus.
Yeah.
I don't want it to.
I agree.
I want it to stay in the system like a bad party drug. I don't know what. I want everybody to be affected by the Almost Everything podcast.
Yeah, we want to reach everyone, and we want to infect your eardrums with our podcast. But big things. We have one of these now, Tim, and for all our audio listeners, this that I'm holding here is an external hard drive. Now, this means I'm not going to run out of space on my computer for the episodes. So there's no holding us back, Tim. We can do as many podcasts as we want now, and storage won't be an issue. So
for all who don't know what the external hard drive is, it's like a big USB, really.
Massive USB.
Yeah. How many terabytes have you got there, Louis?
Just 1 terabyte.
The one.
I'm not made of money. I'm not made of money, Tim.
Just Uno di terabyte.
Yeah, just the Uno.
Now that's not bad.
Yeah.
Because you go you do need a bit more space, and 1 terabyte is massive.
Yeah. Oh, it's 1,000 gigabytes to be precise.
However, we are reaching for to infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
And there is no terabyte number, no terabyte figure that you could put on how much we're going to record.
That's true, because we're going to get into it soon, but we've had a business meeting where we discussed the length of the pods. So we're going to get into that next. We'll go back in time. And then after that, liquid gold as well coming up. We've got some interesting beverages. So, Tim, I think without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome, everyone, to the boardroom. Welcome, Tim. As you've said before, what is it? What do we have to do before we start a business meeting?
Mate, we got to get to the mandatory handshake. However, it is Corona time, so I'll give you a little knuckles there.
There we go. Fist bumps for days.
I would give you an elbow, but I'm not as flexible these days,
Yeah.
Especially in the boardroom.
It's got a massive chest. You can't get your elbow there.
Yeah.
But, Tim, before we get started, we just got to make sure everyone is here and present. So we're going to go through a quick roll call. Tim?
Present.
Okay, cool. Lewis, present. Okay, everyone's here. Awesome. We're all here. We're all set. This is business meeting, the third business meeting, the trilogy of business meetings, where we give the listeners insight to our decision making for the podcast going forward. So, Tim, should we get started? Take us away with what you want.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to bring up the first issue of the business meeting.
Yes.
We're talking about the length of the pod.
Okay.
The length of the pod. Now, Louis, there's been some conjecture.
There has been.
Mr. Speaker, there's been some discrepancies in the length of the pod.
Yeah.
And the breadth.
Yeah.
And the breadth.
Yeah.
And the girth of the pod. Now, how long ideally would you like to make the pod?
I struggle with this because we did put out a message on our Instagram. We wanted to hear from the listeners, but they couldn't come to an agreement, Tim. They are indecisive as fuck.
You think you struggle with it?
Yeah.
I stay up all night over it.
Yeah.
I'm throwing the metaphorical tennis ball against the gyprock wall, just thinking about it all night.
Yeah.
And because I just can't get it into my head, how long should this pod be?
I don't know, Tim. I'm thinking, look, we did say more than 40 minutes or less than 40 minutes, and our listeners couldn't decide. So I'm thinking 40 minutes.
Let's go on the dot. I'm thinking 35 to 45.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like what we've been doing has been good, I think. Like in between those 35 and 45 minutes. So I think we should take a note and we'll write that down.
Yeah,
Now.
I'm happy with that.
Length of the pod to be 35 to 45 minutes. It's long enough to get through some segments, but then it's not
short
too
enough.
long. Yeah, it's not too long. But should we lengthen this business meeting out just a little bit and have a shot?
Oh, yes, sir. How could I forget?
How could we forget?
Tonight we're starting the business meeting off with
some vodka.
Mandatory shot.
Cheers, mate. Mandatory. Oh, fuck. That'll clear the sinus. That's for sure.
No, that's put my socks on and shoes and sent me out the front door for work for the day.
Yeah.
Mate, to be fair though, the pod hopefully is sponsored by Ciroc next week.
I doubt it, but yeah.
Ciroc, if you're listening. Look, I've got goosebumps. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's some filthy goose pimps.
Cool. All right, Louis, onwards and upwards with the pod.
Okay, all right. Well,
next part of the pod.
So we've both got the same notes here because we've come prepared. But we do have 7.
There was a memo sent out during the week. A memo or memo.
A memo. With an addendum.
with an appendix.
Yep.
And an addendum. What is the thing that you attach at the end of it? Is that still the addendum?
That's the addendum, yeah.
Is it the addendum?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. But yeah, we've got 7 segments at the moment that we've rotated, and they're all like informative, which is I don't know how we've managed that, but what I want to propose to the board, Mr. Speaker, what I want to propose is I think we limit it to one segment, like one informative segment per podcast. What do you think, Tim? You agree?
Within reason, sir, because I know a lot of those informative segments can also be on the borderline of just like see where it goes.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it is, we've got pod topics that are both informative. One has to take priority.
Yeah.
How does thy feel to that?
I agree, because we not only do we have the informative segments, we do have some segments that aren't informative, like they're more tangents, like story time and all of that. So I think, yes, if we do keep it to one per pod, we may able to then sort of like have another one that doesn't take up as much time. Because if we're going to keep our episodes the same length, like roughly, we got to keep it quite consistent. So I think either one per pod or like one per pod and a long tangent, or one per pod and like a sub segment type thing.
Yeah, like a shorter seg.
Okay, so we could say 1 to 1.5 segments. Sounds good. Okay, taking notes for that one. Next, Tim, this one is coming from you. Social media.
Yep, social media. I think we should address what we're doing on social media. Make our posts rather than promoting. I think we should also give the listeners and the viewers a better platform to. A better picture to see. So we're thinking about one particular segment is going to be the Almost Everything Dictionary.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait, sorry.
We certainly say...
Sorry, just quickly. Yeah. So like when you say instead of just promotional sort of stuff, it'll be like stuff that is aside from the podcast itself. So our social media platforms will have their own like entertainment purpose.
Yeah, okay. No. I think Instagram at the moment.
Yeah, it's popping off.
We're promoting a lot of our episodes. Now I think we should put up things that are going to be like and you have been doing it with the videos.
Yes.
I think we should do things like we've got a thing called the Almost Everything Dictionary.
Okay.
Now, me and Lewis have a lot of in-jokes.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about putting that. And I think we should put that little posts up about the Almost Everything Dictionary and new words and new vocabulary to add to your vocabulary.
I like this idea. I really like that idea because like a lot of what we say gets lost because we do have our own like banter and everything like that. So I think if we give the listeners and the viewers a bit of insight to what we mean when we say a specific word, like what it means to us, you know, some words, the actual definition doesn't mean the way we say it. So to give the listeners a bit of insight to our in-jokes, to the words we say, really good idea, Tim. Do you want to take charge in that one?
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely take control of all that.
Okay.
I've listed all that already down as that's my job now.
Sounds good.
To add some new dictionary pieces each week.
Brilliant.
In terms of definitions, how to use them in a sentence.
Yep.
And now that will be my job.
Bro, I actually, look, I know you have spoken to me about it before, and I wasn't as excited as I am about it right now, because I am keen. I think this is a great idea, because I have been thinking about how our Instagram is purely promotional, like it is mostly about an episode that is coming up, but
viewers don't want to see that. I know viewers want to be like, we want to promote it to our viewers.
Oh, of course.
However, I think that they deserve also some educational and some trivial pieces.
Yeah, look,
outside of our promotion.
Also, aside from that, I agree, because what I was thinking, I think the videos, the little clips of like funny moments that is in an episode, I think post more of them as well. And then as well as, you know, the dictionary, the Almost Everything Dictionary, I think we just got to post more, and it will be it will be better for our followers on Instagram. And if you don't follow us on Instagram is right there.
Just there?
Almost Everything Podcast. No, just directly above us. Right above us.
There?
Yeah, right there. Right
Here?
there.
Would it be like there for me?
No.
Is there?
So, sorry, that's for our visual watchers, our listeners at Almost Everything Podcast. So that's on our Instagram. So I think Instagram, we have our most followers on Instagram. So I think we got to take care of those people that are on our Instagram. Agreed?
I agree.
Almost Everything Dictionary.
The shareholders on our Instagram page.
Yes.
Need to be rewarded. Now, that's a board guarantee.
Yeah.
We will release more shares to our Instagram holders.
Agreed.
Coming to a share market near you.
If you follow us on Instagram, why not subscribe to us on YouTube as well?
Yeah. If you subscribe to us on YouTube, why not send us your bank account details?
No.
And
speaking of that, we haven't received any DMs about the story that we cut out of an earlier episode, because that is not for this podcast, but we want to tell people. So DM us if you want to find it out.
DM us also if you want a private consultation where we can take your business to the next level as well.
Yeah, that is true. We've done some great jingles. We have done, haven't we?
We're going to be consultants. So, as we said with our jingles, you send us your name, you send us what you're about.
Yeah.
E.g., you want to go on a date with a girl. Yeah. Or E.g., you want to better yourself as a person. Send us your name, send us what you want mentioned in a jingle.
Yeah.
And we'll think of a song. We'll put our two brains to it, and we'll make a jingle for you.
I agree. And Tim, last thing.
One more thing.
Last thing. Wait, from me, and we'll go back to you.
From
3, 2, 1. From me from us. From me first, and then from you.
Okay.
Podcast. This one's really, really quick, but podcast, not uniform, but attire. Podcast attire. Attire. I think we're going to wear these ties for the rest of the podcast that we do.
Yep. They're limited edition Charlton ties.
Yeah, they are Charlton. They are our favourite ties, and I think they're going to become a podcast staple. And if you want to see us in the ties, watch on YouTube, Almost Everything Podcast. Tim, onto your.
One last thing, which brings it up.
Yep.
Merch.
Oh, merch.
How can somebody watch our podcast while with an Almost Everything stubby cooler or an Almost Everything t-shirt or an Almost Everything hat?
Jeez, I think
quietly, hang on. I would love to be drinking this beer.
That's what I'm saying.
Almost Everything stubby cooler.
That's what I was going to say. I think we need to have an Almost Everything stubby cooler first to then show our listeners how sick it is, how cool it is. Sorry. Green Mountain, sponsor of the podcast. No, but I think we need to have a stubby cooler of our own to then show to our listeners, so that they feel like they want to, drink out of the stubby coolers with us.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed. I'm going to leave that to you because you're in charge of all merch.
Yep.
However, if you order in something, get the shipping fees out to me.
Okay.
You can cover all that.
I was going to leave that to you.
I'll flick some money to you for shipping.
Okay, sounds good.
I want that. I want that stubby.
Also,
baby.
Also, let us know. Let us know on whatever social media that you follow us on. Let us know if you would purchase some of that good merch as well. But Tim, I think it's time to move on to Liquid Gold, where some interesting beers are ahead of us.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
It's liquid gold. My beverage is really cold. Is a flavor we can bold.
Oh, Tim, I love that song. One of our best, I think. One of our best.
Mate,
but
one of the greatest.
We're cracking beers for Liquid Gold. And Tim, I've got a special one here. I've got a special one. I'm going to hold it up for the listeners. This bad boy right here, Tim. It's a nice can. I'll give this can a big plus.
I hear that yelling, call me puppy. That's what I hear from that can.
Yeah.
Now, Louis, what are you drinking?
Well, that's what I am very intrigued by, Tim. This is a pineapple milkshake IPA.
For all you who don't know, there is more than just your bog standard lagers, pale ales, things like that. IPA, Indian Pale Ale. Yes. So it means it follows the way that pale ale was made when the English were in India back in World War times, back in the day.
How accurate is that, Tim, because you didn't
Mate,
sound
that's pretty
confident.
accurate. I believe that is how it's. So when the English were colonizing India,
Yeah.
which we all know that it happened.
Can't take that
Don't
one away
deny
from
it.
us. Yep.
From us.
From history.
I identify as a calculator, so people will. So it was made. IPAs are how they made them. Indian Pale Ales.
Yeah.
There you go. Just
Well,
a little bit of. So
thanks.
you do have a milkshake.
Yeah, it's
Pale Ale there.
a pineapple milkshake. Not a combination I would have
No.
ever thought of, let alone have it as an IPA.
As the IPA, they use a lactose protein
Yeah.
in the making of the IPA, the milkshake IPA, thus making it a milkshake.
Yep. Exactly.
Just a bit of trivia.
All right. Well, enough
Very
with the
informative on tonight's pod, where it's a informative.
Yeah. Well, Tim,
liquid gold here.
Enough with the history, because I'm thirsty. I am dying for a quench.
Okay.
I
want to see you taste this beer.
Yeah. I'm nervous because this is such a weird combination. All right. Here we go. Doesn't taste like anything. Oh, hold on.
Taste it again.
Hold on. There's an aftertaste. There is a milky aftertaste.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
Okshal's there with you?
Yeah. Well, okay. It's kind of like a tropical IPA, and then the aftertaste is like kind of milky, in a way.
Okay.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I'll give it that. I
Have another sip.
very
I want to
nervous.
see the second sip.
Yeah. No, same. Yeah. What about you, Tim? What beer do you have with you? Because you've hidden it from me.
This is a beer that is very fond to both of us, as it was one of the first Arvo sessions we've ever had at Lulu's.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yes.
It's
north of nowhere.
The pale ale from Lulu's. Now, you can buy this at any Aldi retailer.
Yeah.
It was brought to our attention by Rikos, the barista, and it is one of the best beers I think I've ever had. For $40 a case.
Decent.
Mate.
Very decent.
And here's the first sip.
Go on. What is it like?
Mate, incredible.
Yeah?
It's exactly what you want in a bloody pale ale.
Bro, once again, I've got that beer envy because the last time we had that together, it was Lulu's had closed. We had been asked to stick around with the barista, and we just cracked open a few beverages in the sun with the barista.
Remember,
we were just drinking, and it was great fun.
Rikos got tipsy while we were all on the scotches, and it was such a good afternoon, mate. I wish I could go back to that afternoon, just flash back in time.
Yeah. So this is the Black Sheep Brewing Company, I think. 5.3%. It honestly doesn't taste that strong, and it just tastes like a fruity IPA, like a very tropical IPA. So, I don't mind it, and it's very easy to drink. Tastes nice. Different to what I thought it was going to taste like, if I'm honest. And what about you, Tim? What about you? What memories flood back?
Mate, all I remember was sitting at bloody Lulu's with Rikos, yourself. Sun, it was a Friday afternoon, sun shining down.
Yeah.
And we were just enjoying ourselves.
No, it was a good time.
So this beer brings back a lot of memories. Now, Louis, how much did that beer set you back?
That's a good question, Tim. And I'll tell you why it's a good question is because I can't remember. Okay? But I think it was, I just bought individual craft beers. I think it was £1.50, so £3 Australian.
That's not bad.
So decent. I mean, just for an individual can, I think they were selling them in 6-packs or 4-packs or whatever. Obviously, that'd be a bit cheaper. But obviously, I was skeptical, like any normal human should be, from a pineapple milkshake IPA. But like I'm unfazed by it.
All in all,
Out of 10, because we got to rate them. That's the whole point of liquid gold. Out of 10, I'm gonna give this one 6.5.
Whew, tough critic.
No, look, I'm a Simon Cowell. I'm tough.
Would you buy it again though?
I think I'm gonna play the market a little bit. I'm gonna see what else is out there first. But I would buy again. Just I'm gonna wait and see if there's something else that's better that's gonna come along. What about you, Tim? What about you?
Mate, I would buy this again purely for the fact that it takes me back to Lulu's in the sun on a bloody Friday afternoon. That memory will never ever be burnt out of my memory.
No, it is firmly ingrained in mine as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So,
if you could describe your beer as a celebrity, who would it be?
Mate, I'd describe the North of Nowhere Pale Ale as a Ray Ramon, because everybody loves Raymond.
Wait, what do you call him? Ray
Ramon.
That's not his name. Ray Romano.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Ray Romano?
Because
you're an Italian
Romano, like
stallion yourself.
My grandmother's side is Romano.
Real?
I am Romano, yeah.
Are you related to Ray?
Yeah, no, he's my great uncle. No, but I do.
Mate, that's why you're so lovable.
Yeah, not wrong. But no, I do like that analogy.
Wait, and does that mean that your other great uncle's the other guy, his brother?
Yeah, I guess
What's
so.
his brother's name?
I guess so. No, but that's a good analogy though, because everybody does love Raymond, and they wouldn't name a television show after him if that wasn't the case.
What would be everybody loves Derek? It just doesn't work with any other name now that you hear that. Like, hey, everybody loves
Johnny,
Gavin.
Just there's no flow. There's no flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, Tim.
Yeah. Oh, Lewis, what about you? Who would you describe your beer as?
Okay, look. Obviously, aesthetically, it is a nice looking can. I think hints of Bob Marley. What about you?
Yeah. Okay. I do see the reggae colours in there.
Yeah, very reggae colours.
Mate, I tell you what, because I'm not worried.
No.
About a thing.
Yeah.
Because every little thing is going to be all right.
Quote Bob Marley. And obviously there's a little bit of like
Robert Marley.
There's a little bit of like a tropical flavor with the pineapple. And there's not a strong milk taste, if I'm honest. Like, it's not very strong. No.
Mate, milkshake IPAs aren't going to fucking take you down to the milk bar on the corner back in 1982 when bloody,
I don't know why.
It's not going to do that for you, but I tell you what it will do.
Yeah.
It'll just give you a hint of that.
Yeah. I don't know why, but milkshake, I was expecting like a thick consistency. I've never had a milkshake beer before.
Get a nitro milkshake, because that means it's nitrogenated. So it's like a thicker, more the opposite of viscous. Viscai, I don't know. Viscous. Liquid gold.
Let's move on. I can't see.
No, I just spilled beer all over me. Oh no, it's everywhere.
Oh, no. Well, Tim,
it's on the new rug.
Well, that concludes this episode of the podcast. We do have a few things that we want to address before we do finish it, though. So don't click off just yet. There's still time. We do want to address the podcast that should have been released before this one. That we didn't choose to publish just because somebody hit a wall.
And it wasn't Kyle
No.
Kyle, the angry white boy, did not hit a wall. It was me. I'm gonna be honest. I had a bit of grog in me. I had a bit of food in me.
Yeah.
And mate, I plummeted off the metaphorical cliff.
Yeah, but
and
Tim, it wasn't okay. You did eat, you did drink. It just like you lacked a little bit of enthusiasm, you know. And on this pod, we like to bring the enthusiasm. We like to uplift people. You were bringing people down a little bit.
And to every cause has an effect. And my effect upon you was to get severe head loss. I would have thought that we pushed you off a 20-foot high building with a rope tied around your neck. Because at that point, I've rewatched the footage. And, mate, the seething eyes coming down the barrel of the gun, the camera lens was next level.
Look, I'm guilty. I'm guilty to a bit of head loss, I must admit.
Heavily edited to make you look like the good guy in that situation. Here I am, just like I'm like Pooh Bear chasing a butterfly, and you're like the heffalumps. You're like the heffalumps at the end of the yellow brick road. You are already there with a fucking baseball bat with a Hessian sack over your head.
No, you are not Pooh Bear chasing a butterfly. If you look back to the footage and what you said, that is not Pooh Bear chasing a fucking butterfly. No chance.
Mate, a very opinionated Pooh Bear. However,
oh, bro, that was gonna be a new segment, unpopular opinions, because that was a very opinionated Pooh Bear.
Mate, I was like a boomer.
No, you were opposed to boomers.
Oh, well, look, in short, because I don't know if we'll get released.
It won't.
But I said that the average living age has.
Hold on. I don't think we should say what you said, because then we're basically just like posting that pod if you say it.
No, okay, no, I'll say it. I'm not fucking afraid.
It's on you.
The average living age has gone up with the years. Back in the 1920s, essentially what I said was back in the 1920s, people weren't living past 60. With all the medicine and everything, people are living well beyond 60. So this coronavirus is the world's way of saying, like, those people who have outlasted all those things, they're going to get knocked down a peg. And to be fair, right now we're on the mezzanine level. The elder generation, they've pressed penthouse suite on the elevator button, but they're getting taken down to the basement. They're going below the car park, getting taken down into basement, the janitor's cupboard, and they're just getting dropped off there. Did you see this?
Go.
There was they've designed a bed that's a hospital bed. That's a cardboard box, and as soon as they die, the cardboard lowers, and then it can be folded into a coffin.
No.
For all the countries that are getting absolutely decimated by coronavirus, it's a cardboard bed. You can lay there. As soon as you die, they can fold it up around you, and it becomes a coffin.
So it's literally a deathbed.
Wow. Incredible.
What?
Incredible.
So that's a tough one to take. Imagine if you like saw the cardboard coming around the corner and you're like, I'm not fucking ready for this. Like,
hey, in Australia, now this is digressing, but there's actually a big thing now where police in Australia are taking cardboard boxes off the homeless because they're actually getting picked up by garbage men, and being collected by street sweepers and stuff, and put in the garbage compactor.
Shit.
There's all these homeless people, and especially in America as well, where homeless people die.
That's rough.
Because they get compacted in the garbage compactor. Unpopular opinions, it happens. But
Yeah, I mean, the government's very unpopular at the moment. But
Yeah.
moving on, Tim. One thing I do want to say, we have talked a lot of talk in what we're doing, like how we're bringing the pod to a new level. I have invested quite heavily into what you would have seen, the hard drive, the external hard drive, but also a microphone as well, so that the sound quality is a lot better. You may see that Tim has one that is the one we normally use before we started doing like video recordings. But I've invested in my own one so that we can record separate audio, so it's a lot better. And also, Tim, this microphone, not cheap, I'll tell you that.
It wasn't.
No.
You've told me the $1.do figure.
Yeah.
And mate, all the money that we saved on our last mic has gone onto this mic. So
that is true. We don't have Techman Jace. We don't have Techman Jace to give us a discount.
No. Speaking of Techman Jace, he did do me a nice discount on a couple of Garmin watches.
Was that from Jace?
Yeah.
Oh, what a good lad! What a good lad. I wonder, does he still listen to this? By the way, do you reckon?
Yeah, he'd listen. We got to get him on a segment. Once this all Corona thing, or we can zoom him in.
Yeah.
Just quickly, resting heart rate 62.
Not bad. Sorry. Also, I'm a little bit annoyed because the microphone was supposed to arrive before we started recording this, but it still hasn't arrived. So I'm a little bit pissed about that. Otherwise, this episode would have been top quality. We're going to have to wait till next week. And lastly, Tim, social media. Follow us on the Instagram at Almost Everything Podcast. Follow us on the Twitter at Almost E Podcast. And then follow us on the Gmail, the Almost Everything Podcast at gmail.com. Send us a message. Let us know, what you like about the pod, what you don't like. We're open to it all. And also share the pod as well. Get this
Send
thing
us
growing.
your kinks as well. What type of kinks you have, what you like in the bedroom,
We'll keep
you
it
don't
anonymous.
like in the bedroom.
We'll keep it anonymous.
Yeah.
Of course.
What are your hard limits? What are your soft limits?
Yeah.
Send us them.
Yeah.
Anonymous, once again. But we'll take a poll, really.
I like it. I like the sound of that.
If you like Fiat pics.
Big shout
reference
out
to
an earlier episode.
Yeah. If you have a Fiat, a type of car, send us your pics of your Fiat. We're car enthusiasts.
Send them in. Fiat 500, of course.
Your bog standard Fiat.
That's the standard. Just the standard. The mezzanine, above the rest but below the best.
Unreal. That's our definition on the mezzanine level. Now, have a gaze at. We're going to be releasing some definitions of in-jokes and certain things like that. Words that we've encountered across the way, and we've accidentally slipped them into the pod.
Yep.
And we'll get what you guys think. So.
Sounds good, Tim. Well, on that note, it's time to end it here. Thank you for joining me over Zoom. It's been an absolute pleasure drinking with you once again. And thank you all for listening. Really appreciate it. Tim and Lewis signing out. Cheers, mate. Let's do it. All right.
Bye now.